Hi, I'm Mel, and today we'll take a pregnancy in Yin class. So first of all, I'm not here to tell any pregnant woman what to do with their body in yoga, but I just want to keep you safe within the parameters of what we know about potentially overstretching in Yin and just in yoga in general, some safety aspects. So you will need some props. You can see I've got a couple of blocks, an extra cushion. So I've got a slightly lower cushion than a full yoga bolster. So I would just say bring everything you've got, pillows from your bed, cushions from your couch, any yoga props that you might have, and a rolled up beach towel works really well for a lot of things. So just a 1 minute chat before we get into the actual practice for you today. I just want to cover 3 things. And the first thing we'll be really taking care of is, of course, you have much more relaxant in your body, that chemical that allows your body to be much more open and amps up as you get closer to birth. But you have it all the time during your pregnancy. So what we say for pregnant women in Yin is to not overstretch, because it feels really good. You feel really stretchy, maybe stretchy in ways you've never felt before, but we want you to really back on that. So you're practicing around 60-70%. You just want to feel a feeling like a therapeutic stretch. Oh, that feels good, but you don't push it to the maximum or too far. The second thing is your pubic bone. So your pubic bone meets at the front. It's called your pubic bone symphysis, and there's a piece of fascia there, tough fascia, where the pubic bone meets. And so it's that line of fascia that we really want to take care of, because if that gets sprained or strained, that's a really painful experience I've heard from many pregnant women. So the 3 things we don't really do in any yoga, and particularly Yin, is we don't want to twist the pelvis under load. So that means any deep lunge where you might be slightly twisted, like a dragon lunge where you're really dropping in and your pelvis is a little bit off kilter and there's all the pressure of the baby behind that and your weight. So we wouldn't want to do that. We also don't take frog on the floor anymore. So where your legs are apart and you're letting your legs split apart with the heaviness, the extra weight, and also your weight to pull apart at that pubic bone symphysis here. And anything really where you're too long laying on your spine for a really long amount of time, that's up to the woman. You know, there can be effects on the spine and passing out and blood flow and things like that. So you really need to monitor your nausea and how you're feeling in that moment. And you can always roll onto your left side, and you can always sit up and lean against the wall. So the last thing I'm going to mention is we don't roll onto our right sides in a pregnancy in Yin class, or if you're in a general class and you're pregnant, we don't roll onto the right side because of the blood flow coming back to the heart through that big vein there, and there's an extra little bit of pressure, or sometimes there's a lot of pressure on there. So let's stay within those parameters of what's really safe and healthy for you and your baby. But again, you know, really monitor this for yourself. Look after yourself in the practice. Anything doesn't feel good, you just sit up or lie on your left side, lean against the wall, take a sip of water, those kind of things. So props are going to be important for you to navigate this class, but it's definitely beneficial for you, just in all the ways it's beneficial for everyone else, to really keep your body nice and pliable, smooth, open, ready for the big day, keeping you healthy along the way on all levels of your being. So of course, when we're stretching into the fascia, we're stretching into the meridians, which are energy channels in Chinese medicine that are also associated with all of your vital organs. So that's extremely important for you to be really healthy, free-flowing on those levels, on a fascial level around all your joints that are under extra load, and for this beautiful circulation of both fluid, information, and qi. Okay, so I'm very excited to be here with you in your pregnancy doing Yin. I have lots of pregnant women in my classes and my teacher trainings when I run them. So let's take a short-ish class. So we also don't spend too long in the poses, and the classes are not too long either. So let's start. I mean, you can stay in Seiza kneeling like I'm kneeling right now, but I'm actually going to shift out of that kneeling position, sit on a block, because it's much nicer for your hips. And you're just going to take a real casual kind of legs crossed-ish, up to you. You can stay kneeling if you want, but this is nice. Your legs, your knees below your hips, your hip flexors are not turned on and holding. You can just sit your head on top of your pelvis and feel quite neutral here. And the first thing we'll do is really start to open up your chest. So we're going to get the energy flowing in your upper body, open up your chest from any extra weight or weight bearing. And then we'll go, you do need to be near a wall. So we will be doing a wall pose too. So you're going to press pause and reorientate yourself. Otherwise, let's start in the seat. I need to just take a moment now to soften your throat, soften your belly. Take some breaths as you rub your hands together. So just start letting your breath flow down to your belly as best you can. And rubbing your hands, we call it the chi rub, and it just gives you a sense of being here in present time in your body, creating a little bit of energy. And you can always place your hands on your belly now with that extra beautiful bit of energy. And taking some deep, slow nostril breaths. And I'd like you to continue breathing through like this as we do the movement pattern. So it's not about rushing through. We just want to be fluid, move at our own pace, our own time. As you crack your eyes open, we'll come into wind in the willow. So ground with your left arm, reach open with your right arm and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, it's just a little twist, navigating around any bump that might be there, whatever size it is. And you just thread the needle of your arm through your left arm and your side waist. And then come open again and breathe in. So really stretching out your chest area. And then just a little side bend, neck soft as you breathe out. And then we're going to change sides. That's one set. So you breathe in and you do a big, open, slight back bending twist. As you exhale, just a slight forward bending twist. Just more about the back of your shoulder. As you inhale, come and open the front of your shoulder and chest again. And then as you exhale, go into your, just a slight side bend, whatever feels good. Easy dripping neck, wrist. Change sides again. Breathe in. Slow, long breaths. Breathe out, thread the needle. Breathe in, open. Go to your side bend as you breathe out. I'm just going to do that one more time to finish off on your left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Side bend, breathe out. And as you come back up to seated, hands to belly again, or just hands on your thighs. Take a moment, roll your shoulders back 3 times. Beautiful. Let's set open position. Come off your block or off your shins if you are kneeling. And organize yourself into a very open, generous deer pose. So right leg forward, left leg back, and this knee can be all the way to the front foot, or you can start to inch it back. But remember, we don't want to put too much stress on your inner thighs and pelvis. So I would prefer you to be a little bit more cautious, but have some space for your belly. So this is a hip opening forward bend. And as you lean forward, make sure you have, a block or some cushions around. As you lean forward, I want you to move so that there is no squashing in your belly whatsoever. You're in the open space of your deer pose, and you're going to come forward and down. Now, there's a little bit of room, especially if you're not in your last trimester, there's a little bit of room to be flossing around there from side to side if you get a better hip opener, okay? So moving a little bit, but it's really away from this knee, and that's usually a strong position for anyone in deer pose. So moving where you've got lots of room, and then when you're ready to take an exhale, you're going to start to round into your upper back into the back of your neck. So you're not squashing your belly, you're not coming all the way down. You're just allowing your head to round you into stretching out your back, particularly this lower right side with your right leg forward. So see if you can sit heavy in your right butt cheek, sit bone. Let both ankles relax. Prop yourself up on your elbows or bring a cushion in if that's okay for you, but it's totally okay to stay up on your hands. Okay, we've already been in for a minute, 2 more minutes. And really your only job here is to really gently sit with yourself in the discomfort. So sometimes stretching in this way in Yin can feel uncomfortable, or where we feel compressed or tight. We're sitting in those parameters of this is about 60-70% of what you could do here. You're just feeling a nice little bit of something, hips, lower back, anywhere else through your spine and neck. You can keep slightly moving side to side, flossing around. And just noticing what's showing up. Giving your brain a break. Staying with your body sensations and your breath. For your final minute. Okay, let's get ready with a deep preparing breath. Slowly walk yourself back up to that initial deer upright position. And instead of lying down on our backs to take a breather, what we're going to do is lean to your right side, spin your left leg around, plant your feet wide and lean back into your elbows. So you're not lying down on your spine yet. And with your feet wide, so there's no big twist in your belly, you're just going to rock your pelvis side to side. So just drop one knee forward, the other knee out. Now, if it feels okay to you, you can shrug your shoulders up a little bit and stretch out the front of your throat. Okay. But only if that feels okay. Otherwise, just keep your chin in and give yourself a really nice, you could even get a bit of momentum going here. Just give yourself a nice little rock. You might hear a little bit of clunking and clicking out the back there. That's okay. I'm going to use this hammock as a little bit of respite before we go into the second side. And then just slowly ease yourself back up from your arms, a little tricep push up, and then go into deer on your second side. So this would be your left leg forward, your right leg back. Don't worry if you're leaning over to one side, that's pretty normal. You don't want to overstretch this inner thigh. Okay. Make sure you've got some props and blocks. And when you feel settled and ready, soften both ankles. They don't want to be turned on. Take a deep breath in, lengthen, lift out of your belly, lean forward and head towards your foot where there's more room away from this knee. Okay, so just head forward and then have a little bit of a floss around. And remember how much your body changed in the 3 minutes on the first side. So we don't worry about what the pose looks like. We don't worry about depth. We just, as long as you're feeling it, it's working. Right? So as soon as you find that you're flossing around and you think, oh, I can feel that in my hip, glute, outer thigh, lower back, you're in the sweet spot. Nothing else to do. So you find that sweet spot, stay up on your hands, come to your elbows, go to the floor, completely your choice as long as you're not feeling a big squash in your belly. You can breathe, the nausea's okay. And you can keep everything relatively soft. We're using our arms as props, but everything's relatively soft. And then once you feel like you're in the right place, let's take a deep breath out and stay for 2 more minutes. And you know, this is purely second-hand feedback from my beautiful pregnant ladies who come to class, is that, you know, we sit in some pretty uncomfortable places in Yin, and we learn to, you know, to investigate and to be curious and to stay with it and to breathe and to try and relax around those uncomfortable places. And the feedback was that's been quite invaluable, you know, through the process of giving birth. So, you know, it's okay to be uncomfortable, to learn how to navigate around that for a few minutes in Yin. Just don't overdo the stretch. Just stay in that therapeutic stretch feeling for 1 more minute. It's okay. Take a breath. Start to walk yourself backwards from the deer pose, which is actually a gallbladder channel in Chinese medicine, up your outer seams, outer legs, outer glutes. Lean to your left side, swing your right leg around, and let's just come back to hammock. So we always treat the body the same way. Feet wide, elbows, and a little rock. And what gallbladder does is it helps to keep the fascia clean through the lymphatic fluid. So very important that you have, you know, really nice, clean, healthy lymph environment, including your immune system. So worth the discomfort, right? Let's just rock it out. If you want to shrug your shoulders up and stretch your throat out, let your head go back. Nice, easy little hammock. Now, I won't rest you here because we've had these little respites, had these little hammocks, because we are going to go and lie down on our backs now near the wall. So just come up to seated, push yourself up slowly to seated, make your way to your wall space and take your blocks or 2 cushions and an extra cushion. So 2 blocks and a cushion or 3 cushions, take them with you to the wall. You might need them, you might not, right? So bolsters tend to be a little bit high for propping your upper body up if you feel a bit nauseous or dizzy when you lie back flat on the floor, but a cushion is perfect for just a little bit of elevation. So I want you to scoot up to the wall with your hip, and then as you lie back, bring your legs up the wall. So you know, you probably know legs up the wall anyway. They have a beautiful draining effect on the body from all the weight and the fluid going down to your ankles. So you can just start with legs up the wall and see how you feel laying in your spine completely flat. And if that doesn't feel good, I would say to you at this point, you're just going to bring a cushion in through your upper body. So you see it's not as big as a bolster, but you're propped up a little bit. Now if that makes you pinch into your hips, then you could put a cushion or a block underneath your hips as well. But it might elevate you a little bit high. Okay, let's just wait for the pose. So a little bit of propping under your upper back, neck and head if you need it. Otherwise, if you're happy to lie flat down, you can lie flat to the floor. And now we've given our blood pressure a minute just to adjust to being in a inverted position. You can bend your knees now. So remember we said we never do frog on the floor because of the pubic symphysis. We're going to do it on the wall. So toe heel your feet apart a little bit. See how you feel as your knees drop open and weight takes your legs, and then you can go a little bit further. It's like you're standing-ish on the wall. It might be sickling a little bit, that's okay. But we don't want straight legs. I feel that's a little bit too much. With your knees bent, you've got control. Okay, you've got your feet on the wall. They're not going to slide open unless you actually move them. And the reason you've got your other two cushions or blocks is that you can prop them in the outside of your thighs. So then you know for sure your legs are not just going to drop open as you doze off and relax in the pose. So let's go for a couple of minutes more. So remember, just nice and therapeutic, nothing too crazy. Just want to, this channel in here is your liver channel, very close also to your kidneys and spleen. 3 major organs to keeping you well in your pregnancy. To keep the baby well, your blood well, flowing, clean, viscosity, the hormones that move in your blood, the chi that moves in your blood. Actually, this is a great one if you're feeling really hormonal with your liver. This is great for pregnancy, it's great for PMS, it's great for menopause. If you're watching Pregnancy in Yin, then none of those other things really apply to you. But just know it's a good women's pose. Good for blood, good for hormones. Now, you can take your arms wide, and you can also take your arms overhead. That'll stretch out your breast tissue, your armpits, your chest. So you can really open your arms and get a secondary stretch here. As you exhale and let your thighs soften. You might be inspired to go back to your soft belly breaths again. But sometimes it's just nice to be in a shape and drift and dream a little. So I'll leave you for 2 minutes. I'll be keeping the time and I'll let you know. Now take a deep reconnecting breath. And it's very important that you only move one leg at a time. So as you bring your arms in and down, just pop your hands underneath your outer knees and just start with one leg, toe heeling your foot back up the wall. So we don't want to stress that pubic symphysis again. And then let the other leg toe heel a little bit to join it. And then let the other one toe heel in a bit more, and the other one toe heel in to mirror, until eventually you've toe heeled your feet in, and you can just go ahead and straighten your legs. That should feel yummy, like you're having a yummy flush through your hip sockets, pelvis now. Feel a bit tingly in your legs. But we've been a little while on our backs, so remember we only roll to the left side. I want you to take a cushion or a block with you. So draw your knees in, roll off to the left, and as you roll off to the left, put the block on quite a tall side between your knees, the short tall side, or pop your cushion there. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. You don't have to roll completely to your left side either. You can stay a little bit open, but that there's no real twisting of your pelvis. Okay, just having a momentary rest on your side. Maybe probably a lot of you sleep like this, with just something propped between your legs. No strain back here on your sacroiliac joints. So just take a moment. And then using your top arm, take your block away or your cushion away, and then use your top arm to help you up. So push down with your top arm, chin to chest, come rolling all the way up. And if you're coming from down to up and you feel like you need it, you're right here at the wall, and you can just take a moment. Just take a moment on the wall. We're going to go back to, got just 2 more things to do. So we're going to go back to our mats or where you were practicing and lay on your back if you're ready. Please stay here as long as you need to, okay? So I'm going to keep the cushion just to show you how you can do this a little bit propped up. So again, you don't have to be completely flat. You can be slightly inclined. It's not going to make any difference to the pose whatsoever, except that you might be a little bit more comfortable. Okay, so slightly inclined. I need to take your feet wide like we did in the hammock pose, but you're nice and relaxed. Your body doesn't have to do anything. Take your arms wide, palms up. Again, that's broadening and opening your chest. That might be a little bit weighty coming forward these days. So open chest, open arms. And then simply dropping your knees to your left side. Now, this is a slight rotation in your lower back, of course. So if you need to prop up your right knee, just go ahead. Bring a block in or a pillow and put that under your right knee. Just a very, very slight rotation through your lower back. And then it comes into the stretch at the front of your thigh, front of your hip, across your psoas and belly, and over your chest. So there's a slight twisting back bend. So do what you can tolerate. We don't want to be in a huge, deep twist through the abdomen. So I'd like you to keep that pretty straight up to sky. And then just gently let your breath fall back into a rhythm. You could even close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and let the pose do its work as you drift along. We're already halfway through. This one's very good too if your digestion's a bit clogged up, or the other way. So if your digestion's a bit off kilter, this is a really nice one for opening up the channels of your stomach and spleen, and your actual stomach and spleen. Okay, so strong now. Press the back of your wrists into the floor. Use your abdomen to pull your legs back through center, and just give them a quick hammock both ways. A bit of a windscreen wash off both ways. And keep your cushion or block there. If you used it, you might just push it over a little bit. And then on one of those swings, you're going to drop your legs over to the right side. Let your left knee come towards the floor. And start to feel the stretch here through your thigh, through your left belly, through your chest. It's your choice what angle you put your arms on, how propped up your knees are. But just keep your chest and most of your belly square up to the sky. Nice easy yawn or sigh out as we stay for a couple more minutes. Okay, take a breath. As you exhale, feel strong in your abdomen. Push down with the back of your wrists. Bring your knees back through center and do the same. Very mild little wash off both ways. That should feel really nice. Now we've finished both sides. Just a little rock. And then stay where you are. Keep your feet wide, but knock your knees in together. So your lower back feels spacious, but resting towards the floor. And you can bring your arms in and down, give your chest a little bit of relief. Maybe put your hands on your belly or chest, or just rest them on your hips. And just take a moment with yourself. Again, rolling over to your left side, but this is super brief. This is only to sit up. So roll over, right hand down, chin to chest, slowly come up all the way. And let's go for our final pose, keeping that cushion in place. And if you didn't have one, you might want to bring one in, or a folded up towel or blanket. And then we're gonna, because we want to kind of be on a 35, 45 degree angle. So on an incline anyway, whatever height incline that you like, because we want to make kind of a false floor and not have you in too much of a big back bend. So I've got a pillow, I've got my bolster, or this could be like 3 pillows from your bed with a nice firm cushion underneath it where your head's gonna be. And also a cushion or a block underneath the back of your pelvis. So there's only this much back bend instead of that whole entire bolster or cushion width. Okay, so you want something under your bottom. And this is reclined, butterfly, or straight legs. I'd like to give you a little option there because we've already taken our legs apart, depending how you feel with that. And definitely have your extra couple of pillows or blocks for your outer thighs, okay? So as you scoot your pelvis under, so stretch out your lower back and tuck under, you want to have your legs in some kind of butterfly-ish. Now, if you're not doing butterfly, you just go into straight legs. Beautiful, okay? Butterfly is an option. And then you start to let yourself slowly lean back, and you'll know if this is too high, too low, and sometimes you have to come up and down and readjust your props a little bit. You've got your blocks both sides, cushions both sides to hold your knees up if you've chosen the butterfly option for your legs. But really this is about coming back in and opening up the entire front side of your torso, chest and throat again. So we've created this false floor where we can really let our gently bent elbows and arms open out, taking all the weight off this front side of your body. But, you know, keeping the awareness in the back bend. Is it too much? Come up a little higher, bring some extra cushions in. And then really let your arms fall back, your chest open. Straight legs, totally an option. Such a beautiful way to do this pose, and you just let your legs go floppy. And this final shape for today. Let's make the entire face expression soft. So your forehead smooth, relaxed. Your eyebrows uncreased. Your eyes soft in their sockets. Unclenching your jaw a little bit and letting your tongue fall heavy and soft in your mouth. Let your jaw slacken and come back, fall back. Let your neck find ease against your props. And as you breathe deep and slow and you're aware of your breath and your body, there's this sense of all is well. I'm safe. All is well in my body. For the both of you. Spend one more minute. Taking a deep breath in, a full breath out. one knee at a time, either drawing up to sky from straight or out from the side, one leg at a time. Let's take care of your pelvis. You can knock your knees in as we just take this transition really slow. Bring your arms in and down, rest them on your body. And as we release all those big feelings of back bend here, you might decide that this is a really comfortable place with your hands either connected on your body or even maybe a little bit overhead, your knees knocked in, your lower back resting. You might decide that this is a nice place to stay for the next few minutes. It might still feel like you're a little bit too much in pose. So if that's you, again, just roll off to your left side and you can move the big cushion or one of the cushions off so you're a little bit lower down, a little bit more relaxed like you've gone to bed, and pop the bolster or some cushions under the backs of your knees. So you're both elevated in your chest and head, you're not too far back, and you've also got that wonderful support under your knees and your lower back, and you're just a little bit lower. Arms off or on your body, your choice. And so wherever you've chosen now, let's just take a deep exhale, yawn or sigh. Just let everything out of the pot. And keep that lovely open throat cascading through your chest, belly, pelvis. Everything's at ease and relaxed as you take these last couple of minutes just for the two of you, really present, really connected, really supported. This is where all the magic of everything you've done takes place. Your body refigures itself, redistributes the blood, the chi flow, the fluids, the connective tissue network to support you the best. And then if you're ready to move and there's no rush, you could stay resting a little bit longer. Start to take a few deep breaths again. Just awakening your body, bringing in some fresh oxygen. You might stretch your arms overhead and have a long, luxurious stretch and yawn. Roll through your ankles and wrists a few times. Let's get any little cracks and pops out of there so everything's flowing free. Right to your fingers and toes. Draw your knees in and up. You probably won't be able to hug them into your chest, and I'd like you to keep them wide anyway. Nice and wide around your belly. Roll over to your left side for the last time. Slowly peel yourself up and come and sit in any comfortable position that you like. So back to a block or kneeling on your shins, your choice. And let's finish with hands in prayer, really strong push together. So you're centering yourself left and right, you're back in your body, you're back in present time. Take a deep breath in. A full breath out. Namaste.